Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night in Santa Fe. That means it's Wayward Wednesday. Open mic comedy at the Great Brewery. That's it, really? How about a hand for Brewery? Okay. They love us here. Some real quick housekeeping tonight. I wanted to tell you about some other shows that are happening very soon, including a St. Patrick's Day show tomorrow night at Santa Fe Brewing Company. It's our first improv show. It should be a lot of fun, and it starts at like 7:30. Come on by, it should be a lot of fun. We also have Witch and Bitch Fest on Saturday night at Desert Dogs Brewery. That's always a really great show. That's actually that's not just comedy, but there will be music and things like that too. And also April 9th, our new Tumbleweed show. Our Tumbleweed shows are so great, folks. You really ought to come out and check out the Tumbleweed show on April 9th. I forget who's performing, but it's a few weeks away. All right, really attentive crowd. I love it. Another thing before I get started, I wanted to we are also live streaming tonight. Why don't you all say hi to the people on internet land? Okay, come on, everybody. It doesn't matter. Nobody's watching. Come on. This is an R-rated show, folks, just so everybody knows. I see some kids in the back over there. Fair warning, it's going to get filthy, okay? Let's see, what else? So one thing, since we're on the internet, I thought I should do a disclaimer. And so the views and content provided by our performers tonight do not reflect the opinions of Wayward Comedy or Chili Wine Brewery. There is the potential for what many may consider to be offensive material. You are forewarned, and if you don't like it, then I suggest you grow a fucking spine, okay? Yeah. So, I think I'll do some comedy. Why not? I'm up here, I got a mic in my hand, nobody's gonna stop me. I'm gonna talk about the trials and tribulations of a sober comedian. Yeah, I'm at a disadvantage. Like most of the comedians you're gonna see tonight, they're like 2 or 3 beers in. They don't care, whether or not you're having a good time. I care too much that you're having a good time. I'm nervous. I want to do such a good job, and I don't have any chemicals to help me, which is a shame because I love drugs. I think drugs are great. Not just the bad ones. I don't really think there are bad ones. I think there are good drugs and great drugs. There's I like drugs so much that I became a drug addict and wound up in treatment for a really long time. Wow, it got really quiet all of a sudden. Treatment, that really sucked because even though I wasn't in 12-step, they kept trying to tell me that I needed to find a higher power, or else I wasn't going to get well. And I kept telling them I'm an atheist. I don't buy into any of that shit. What am I supposed to do? If that's a requirement for treatment, then can I leave? Because this is boring. And they kept saying, no, you need to find a higher power. You need to find a higher power. But 10 years sober, so the experts were fucking wrong. I still have not found a higher power. I don't know why they're clapping. It's not going to last. I'm already planning my relapse as we speak. So, so I know there's a lot of issues happening in the world right now. I'm not really like a topical comedian. I don't really talk about current events and stuff like that. But I felt that with all the stuff that's happening in the news recently, I had to address it. And I know it's on everybody's mind. I just don't think Euphoria is a good show. I really don't. I think that's a bad show. I don't know why people like it. I hope Rue dies of an overdose, honestly, I really do. I hope she dies bloody. Yeah, that's right now. Seriously. It sucks because everything about that show is good. The acting is good, the way it's filmed is good, the music is great. It sucks. It still sucks. And I've seen every episode, so Ooh, boy. I have no idea who I'm going to bring up here first. Oh, one more thing. Everybody here vaccinated? I know that's kind of a personal issue, but I did everything they told me to do. I got the first shot, I got the second shot, I even got a booster. I did everything that they told me to do, and I don't like the government or doctors. And but I trusted them, and I didn't really understand all of the controversy about it or anything like that. I just felt like it was the thing to do. But when I got told that I had to get a colonoscopy, boy, did my conspiratorial mind start going. Oh boy. All I kept thinking was, it's just my insurance company trying to charge, it's just my doctor trying to charge my insurance company. It's a conspiracy, man. I'm telling you, it's a conspiracy. Yeah, that was last week. That's why I wasn't here. I got a colonoscopy. I'd like to have material based on that whole experience, but it was not funny at all. Not funny at all. All right, folks, give it up for Chili Wine one more time. Give it up for yourselves. We're going to bring out our first comic tonight. It's going to be a surprise no matter who it is. Let's get Mo up here. Mo, where are you? There he is. Come on up here, Mo. Morris Kaufman, everybody. Give it up for Morris Kaufman. I'm right under Mo.
Boy, this whole thing in Ukraine, he's a comedian, he's one of us. But Russian humor is sort of dark. Anyway, can you hear me?
Hey, just start over.
Words are weird. This is about words. Like, for example, cease and desist. Okay, I get the cease part. They want me to stop doing something. But desist, it's like, where's the cyst? Like, you want me to go to the doctor and remove a cyst? So where's, and some words mean the opposite of what they mean. Okay, and it's like a thing. There's a word for words that mean the opposite of what they mean. They're called contronyms.
What?
I'm not making this up. There's a word for words that mean the opposite of what they mean. For example, to swipe, right? To pay or to steal, right? Does that make sense?
No.
Or to cleave, which is to tear apart or to put together. She's trying to help me. And words come in families. There's families of words. For example, flatulence, which, is kind of a highfalutin word for a fart, right? So, and highfalutin, where does that come from, right? And so there's word detectives, that obsess about words like highfalutin, which nobody actually knows where it came from. But flatulence is part of a family of words that includes conflate and, of all things, souffle, right? So souffle and flatulence come from the same root. Words are weird, I'm telling you. I'm sorry for all the cooks in the audience. I'm sorry about that. Phrases are weird too. Phrases are weird. So, like jack shit, right? Jack shit. Like, who the hell is Jack? Like, who's Jack? What's Jack? So, it turns out that it's an old sailing term. The British sailors, they call their sails, they call them sheets. And if somebody was stupid, they would confuse the Union Jack with a sheet. They don't know their jacks from their sheets, which turned into jack shit, right? Or like hell in a handbasket. Like, what the hell is like, why handbasket? Where's the handbasket, right? So, it turns out that they would lower the miners into the mines in baskets, right, by hand with the dynamite. They were literally going to hell in a handbasket, literally. But what I'm really fascinated the most by is insults that could be compliments. Insults that could be compliments. So for example, delightful, like you're removing the light from the room. No more light. So I say, you're delightful. And you would say, Morris, I know your twisted little mind, fuck you. Fuck you. I know how your mind works, all right? Delightful, seriously? So, no, I'm really fascinated by insults that could also be compliments. So I was over at Payne's Nursery some time ago, and this was the Payne's Nursery by Alameda. And it was springtime, you know, probably around this time of the year. And I wanted to buy some flowers for the garden, right? So I go to the flower area. So the flower lady, she says, well, what kind of flowers do you want to buy? So I'm saying, well, what would you suggest? So she says, you know, pansies are really good for this time of year. Pansies are good. So I said, pansies have kind of a bad reputation. And she's like, what are you talking about? Pansies? Pansies are great. I said, why do they call guys that are not very strong, why do they call them pansies? She says, okay, fine. Pansies have a bad reputation, but I want you to know my pansies are strong. They're beautiful, they're strong, okay? They're not gonna just die when the weather gets bad. So I said, okay, your pansies are strong. I said, so if I invented a superhero named Pansy Girl and based it on you, that would be a compliment, right? And she said, oh, that would be a great compliment. Strong and beautiful, Pansy Girl. I like it, thank you. So I bought the pansies, right? And then she moved from the flower department to the cash register. And I was waiting, there was a big line ahead of me, and I was getting a little frustrated. So I said, hey, Pansy Girl, when am I gonna get my stuff? And everybody in the line is like, you asshole. You asshole. How could you? And she was over there like, thank you. That was a compliment. That's it for me, you guys.
Give it up for Mo, everybody. All right, let's get the energy up in here really quick. When I say hey, you say ho. Hey.
Ho!
Hey.
Ho!
When I say hi, you say low. Hi.
Ho!
Hi.
Ho!
That's great, but that's basically how Trump got elected. You need to start thinking for yourselves, all right? You can't just go along with whatever I say just because it feels right. Let's do it one more time. When I say Karen, you say sucks. Karen. Karen. Yeah, we should fucking kill Karen. March to her house carrying tiki torches, saying something stupid like, Karen will not replace us. See how quickly that shit escalates? All right, you're a great crowd. Let's give it up for our next comedian. It's been a while since we've seen him. It's Lars, everybody. Let's give it up for TJ. Woo!
So I've always been interested in tiny little bits of information that kind of like change everything. Totally like flip a situation around. Like cheat codes or your like passwords or whatever. And over the years, I've amassed a nice collection, and so I'm going to share just a couple with you tonight. So my first one, imagine you're on a stroll through town, and you kick, on accident, a small metal bottle. You realize it's a Whippet cartridge, and there's dozens all around you. Then you hear it, the rap rock, Bluetooth speaker. It's hideous. Then you realize you are being approached by a group of people wearing clown makeup. One has a butterfly knife and has hurt himself with it. What do you do? What is the cheat code here? So, what I suggest you do is you look at them and shout the letters MMFCO. And maybe they put like some steak on it, like MMFCO. And this is the cheat code for this situation. It stands for Mad Motherfucking Clown Love. And it's guaranteed to 100% endear yourself to these people that might very well have robbed you, or worse. And yeah, I highly recommend that cheat code for that situation. Now, number 2, I'm a software developer, and a lot of times people ask me like, hey Lars, what antivirus should you use? And typically at this point, it gets kind of weird and I'm frowning and I'm like, they're scams for scared sheep and they thirst on your CPU cycles like a fat tick and fail at their basic premise. Some could say they are the true virus. But I have something, actual advice that doesn't involve paying any money. So the cheat code in this situation is install the Windows language packs for Russian language. And this is, I'm being totally serious here. Russia state sanctions malware. And basically their whole premise is you can do whatever you want, just you can't do it in Russia. So how do they do that? See, any virus, they go to your computer and they say, oh, I thought this was American computer. We have Russian language pack. What are you doing in America? Are you working for the Trump campaign? Oh, who knows? Good luck with your psyop. Das Verdiener, comrade. I'm off to rent some children's hospital for Bitcoin. Okay. Anyways, thanks everybody. That's it for me today.
Give it up for Lars, everybody. All right, sorry, I just needed to check with Brian Brett over there because he's not going to come up tonight. So I'm going to bring up Mark Wise, everybody, one of my favorites. Come on up here, Mark. Thank you, TJ.
Thanks, everybody. It's good to see you all here tonight. Thanks to Chili Lion and Wayward Comedy for doing this every week. We always have a lot of fun. Yeah, my name's Mark Lies. As in, Mark lies on his belly, on his tile floor, naked, after he's put a trail of lube down so he can slither around like a snail on Sundays when everybody's in church. The name was actually shortened to Lies when my ancestors came over from Europe from the longer German name Lies, Cheats and Steals. With a name like Lies, I thought I should run for office.
Yeah.
So I'm running for president of Mars in 2032 against Elon Musk. So remember, in 10 years, vote Lies, a name you can trust. It's an interesting fact of nature that ducks have corkscrew-shaped penises. So next time you're trying to open a bottle of wine and you can't find a corkscrew, reach for a duck dick. There's a lot of talk lately about whether women should be on money. I think women should be on currency. I think they should be on pennies. Because there's nothing like the scent of a woman. Be the change.
It's priceless.
Be the change you want to see in the world. I had a girlfriend whose name was Rachel, but I had to break up with her because every time she turned to the side, she was Rachel profiling. You know you're living the bachelor life when the only food you have in the house is a cough drop. And you know you're committed to the bachelor life when you think, I'm really gonna enjoy this lozenge. Transgender Jesus with nieces and nephews is the Antichrist or Antichrist. Is a leprechaun artist, artist who creates images of leprechauns, or a person with leprosy that bamboozles people. I like science. It amazes me how scientists figure out the things that they do. I was reading an article about the constellations and how they're changing. Yeah, it said the stars move a little bit all the time, so over thousands of years, the pictures are going to change. It said that in 3,000 years, Orion's belt is going to be down around his ankles. And it's going to take another 3,000 years for him to figure out that his trousers are down. And it's going to take another 3,000 years for him to pull them back up. And meanwhile, the whole time, the seven sisters will be giggling. This is true. I don't know how they know this, but it's true. I read it in a science article on the internet. So just be ready. I don't know anyone who's been abducted by aliens, but I do know someone who was alienated by ducks. They could never find their corkscrew. Thank you, everybody. I'm Mark Lars. Thank you.
Give it up for Mark Lars, everybody. So everybody knows, I know we've got some newcomers here tonight. We usually do 5-minute sets. At 4 minutes, you might see this light. That means it's time for you to wrap it up and move along, okay? Coming up next to the stage is Bishop Thomas Pacheco, everybody. There he is, Thomas Pacheco.
Thank you. First of all, I want to start off by giving a shout out to Wayward Comedy. They host this open mic every week, and I think that's fucking awesome, so shout out to them. If I end up bombing tonight, then fuck you guys, I take that back. But yeah, my name is Thomas Pacheco. This is actually only my 4th time ever doing this, and the first time in a long time, so I'm pretty nervous. But a little bit about me, I'm 22 years old. I know what you might be thinking, 22? I thought he was like 18. No, I realize that I look younger than what I am, you know? Sorry, I forgot my joke. Oh, I realize that I look younger than what I am. Like, I could definitely play like a high schooler in a TV show or movie or something, you know? I could be one of those drugged up, sex-crazed teenagers on Euphoria. I I feel like, or maybe not, but I could be like a normal kid in the background who like walks through while they're doing, the main characters are doing something. But yeah, I look younger than what I am, and that has its perks and its non-perks. Like a perk is I could get into any sporting event as a student for years to come. A non-perk though would be like when I turned 21, I tried to buy alcohol legally for the first time, because that's something you do when you turn 21. You're like, woo, you know, I can buy alcohol and lifestyle meal from here, woo. So I went to the store, I tried to buy some beer, and when I was checking out, the guy at the cash register, he looked at the beer, then he looked at me, then he was like, get the fuck out of here, kid. And I was like, what the fuck? You're probably right, so I left. You know, because I figured this guy thinks I look like I shouldn't be buying alcohol, and I probably shouldn't be buying alcohol. Plus, I don't have the beer look, you know, like, I just don't. Like, if you saw me walking out of the store with like a 24-pack of beer, you'd be like, what the fuck? That'd be like if you saw like a Girl Scout selling drugs or something. You'd be like, I thought they sold cookies. I don't know. But yeah, I don't have the beer look. Maybe White Claws. Maybe White Claws. You know, because if you saw me walking out of the store with like a 12-pack of White Claws, you'd be like, oh, that makes sense. He's a bitch. So, but yeah, I'm getting older. I'm only 22, so when I say I'm getting older, I'm sure there's some older person in the crowd like, oh, fuck this kid. But TJ. But yeah, my parents are getting older too. You know how I know my dad's getting older? It takes him like 3 minutes to pee now, and it's like frequent. That and when he's sleeping, sounds like he's fighting for his life. I get kind of scared sometimes. You know, like his breathing patterns are all fucked up. He snores really loud, but then every so often he'll like choke on a snore and wake himself up in panic. I'm like, he does one of these all the time. Where you're like, don't know if that's their last breath or not, but I don't really have a transition for this next joke, so I'm just gonna say it. You guys ever notice black people say McDonald's instead of McDonald's?
They do.
That's the whole joke. That's it. It's just an observation. But no, every black person. I heard someone say that's racist. I don't hope it's but no, every black person I've ever met says McDonald's. I've noticed that. That's only like 5 people, but still, you know, I feel like that's enough evidence to support my claim. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but gas prices are up. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I saw a post on Facebook the other day. It says something like, to all the people complaining about gas prices, how about you just be grateful you're not on the concrete floors of a train terminal in the Ukraine, not sure if all your loved ones and everything you ever owned have been blown to bits. I was like, okay, like, you know, that's like what if you get like you don't like pickles and you get a burger and it has pickles on it, and you're like, fuck, I don't want pickles on this. And there's that one person who's like, really? You know there's starving children in Africa right now, and you're complaining about pickles? You're like, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, what do you want me to do? I would give them the pickles if I could. I don't want the pickles, you know? I don't know, maybe they could build like a McDonald's there or something. I'm not sure, but, you know, it's just like, I fucking hate those people. You know, it's like putting things into context, but they just take it too far, you know? I'm just gonna end it there. That's all I got. Thank you so much.
Check the time to check out everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 viewers on our live stream right now. That's like a record. Anyway, this next meeting, kind of the stage, you know, there's like an inner circle in Wayward comedy, and this guy is in the inner circle, which basically means he's more insecure than most people. Give it up for Sam Lynch, everybody!
Welcome to the Illuminati. Anyways, I'm Sam Lynch. I just got done doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Some of you might be like, that sounds badass. In reality, a man sits on my chest and is like, hey Sam, you're getting a lot better. I got my blue belt recently, and at that point, they stopped telling you that you get better. Oh yeah, and sometimes the professor, not sensei because we're adults, asked me to come and help demonstrate a move. So I come up there and he sits on my chest, and then I have two thoughts. I can put this man's dick on my chest, and when is he gonna choke me? So in college, I had a 1990 Camry, classic. It had those seat belts that went back audio automatically. Had a starter that didn't work. Has anyone ever tried to start the starter with a hammer?
Yes,
There you go. That's a good litmus test to see if somebody had a good life or a poor life. It's like if someone carries a hammer in their car, I trust them more. And during this period of my life, I had to maintain very good looks because I had to approach strangers with a hammer. I had to make sure my beard, when I had a beard back then, I had a beard and I was like, does it look like I'm a rugged individual who reads literature or a guy who like pulls Slim Jims out of his beard? So I would approach people. They would act weird, like this is a weird magic trick. And they're like, where's Ashton Kutcher at? I'm being punked, aren't I? These people didn't know shit. The people that didn't know how to do it, love those people. So I would just offer people a hammer and say, hit my car. And it would start and they would never see me again. They would just be like, what the fuck is going on? So there was this one lady, she was helping me with my car one day. She was completely useless. And while she was helping me, she was like, well, I go to the Baptist church and my daughter also goes. And I was worried, because like, does your daughter suck this much? That she just has to find random sweaty dudes working on their car on the side of the road? Or she's like, maybe this loser needs Jesus. We need more good people like that in the world, so I can make fun of them. Like I like to be a good person. You know, when I'm at the grocery store, I feel like a friendly giant is walking through the store, bringing the sun's fire down to the citizens of Earth. But in reality, I'm just getting the olives from the cop shop from the Little Avenida. And what was I going to do next? All right, so I used to be on a landscaping crew, and I worked with Mexicans often. And I felt like a caveman. It was just frozen from ice because Mexican landscapers, they really appreciate it when you at least try to speak Spanish. So I'm like an unfrozen caveman. I'm like, poner la tierra aquí. They all applaud like I just learned how to read. So where was it going? This is all new material mostly. All right, so anyone know the old Warren Inn? It's way down Cerritos. I would often tell people about the experiences I had at the old Warren Inn. They'd be like, Sam, that's black tar heroin. I got my car stolen from there once, and I walked out and I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to go to work today. Which it did kind of suck though, because I had planned a vacation in Gallup with this girl we were on and off with, but it was mostly like weird sex in Gallup. I can't do that anymore, because as a boy, I fucked with my dick, but as a man, I finally fucked with my heart. And I can't do it anymore. And here's the thing about the heart's a weird motherfucker. Like when you fuck with your heart, we start planning trips to the zoo. You start doing hobbies together. You start having intimate conversations about BDSM. Which gets me to the point, at one point in a relationship, you start buying bondage gear. When are you ready to co-parent a ball gag? Because I don't want to be left as a single guy with a ball gag. I'm not kink shaming myself. I don't like clutter. And what am I supposed to do with it? The people at Goodwill are pricks. Too prudy for that. And so it just sits there. In my empty box of other ADHD hobbies. Wood carving knives. It's 12:25. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Sam Lynch, everybody. I don't know if you want to co-parent a ball bag. I'll do a ball bag with him. There you go. Sorry, rented lips. Coming to the stage next is one of our favorites here at Wayward Comedy. It's Esther Coker, everybody. Come on out.
Hey guys, I have a lot of new stuff, so you have to bear with me. It's a little rough, but that's what open mic is for, right? So the Ides of March are upon us. It's March 16th, that's right. This week we have the first day of spring. We have a time change. We have St. Patty's Day. We have a full moon, and every chick is on her period, in case you didn't know. It's not a good time to make big decisions. It's not a good time to spend a lot of money or take any risks. It's a time to lay low. Don't do anything that you might regret. Hunker down. Don't do anything rash. So I chewed out my entire high school class yesterday. Well, just the alumni volunteers, but they deserved it. I don't think I'll be invited to the next reunion. Only old people use Facebook, according to my nephew. And I don't think anything else dates me more than my Facebook account and my Hotmail account. The thing that annoys me the most about Facebook is they ask me why I'm blocking an ad, but it never asks me why I'm blocking a person. Was the ad too irrelevant? Did it come up on your newsfeed too often? Was the topic too sensitive? And I'm not sure why I'm not allowed to give similar feedback when I'm blocking a person, right? Like, I think this person is racist, and I don't know how they ended up on my friends list. Or I think this person is a narcissistic piece of shit whore, hedonist, like, fuck her. I think this would be valuable information for Facebook to collect, and I imagine, what could you possibly charge for this information, right? My brother has stage 4 colon cancer. He blames it on all the dairy and red meat that we ate growing up. I said, no, it's because you pinned me down and farted on my face when we were younger. Karma's a bitch. I recently had to get a colonoscopy due to my brother's inept and mutinous digestive system. Which is a quick way to turn off a date, ladies, in case you ever need a good excuse to get out of a social engagement. Like, hey, sorry, Bob, I can't make it to your barbecue. I've got to prep for my colonoscopy. Yeah, you leave that shit at home, literally. Apparently, it takes 17 days to drive around the world's circumference. If you drive 60 miles per hour, 24 hours a day, it only takes 17 days to circle the world. Which means it would only take about 50 people driving 8-hour shifts in a row for 17 days. I don't know about you guys, but that seems very doable to me. I thought it was bigger than that. I wasn't terribly impressed with those numbers. It's like ordering a triple cheeseburger and being like, oh, it's only 1,200 calories? I can do that. Okay, thank you guys very much.
Give it up for Esther Coker, everybody. One of my favorite things about Wayward Comedy is that we get to see people come up here and do comedy for the very first time, and that's what's going to happen right now. Our friend Georgie is coming up to the stage.
Actually my teacher at SFCC. It's a great film program. I'm Georgie. What's up? I was raised very Catholic. Went to Catholic school. Wore a really cute little uniform. Any Catholics out there? What did you give up for Lent? That's what I thought. What about you? All right. Well, I'm a better Catholic than both of you. So I gave up for Lent 2 things. First thing, my now ex-boyfriend. Second thing, weed. The second thing, weed, is actually really hard for me. But the first thing, pretty easy. When I'm kind of having moments like, oh, I kind of miss him. I think about him saying things like, if you relax and you use lube, you might actually like it. Nothing against anal, if you're into that, but you don't really want someone pushing their finger in that direction, if you know what I mean. But the other thing, weed is it's really hard. Do I look like a stoner to you guys?
Yeah.
All right, loaded question. But, for me, it was like, wake up, smoke some weed, lunchtime, digestive, 2 o'clock, close enough to 4:20. And, when things I didn't want to do, smoke some weed. Doctor's appointments I was dreading, smoke some weed. And, that was all going well until I ended up taking off my pants, looking for some stirrups, and in walks the dentist. Pretty awkward. Lent is like pretty interesting thing. I feel like, part of Lent is also abstaining. I think mostly it's for meat. So like no meat, no sex, not smoking. What could be more Christian? Am I right? What's better than just eating fish on Fridays and masturbating? I feel like it's a really great time to be a Catholic. Jesus, everything, Lent, March kind of sucks. I think I read that Lent is like a bright sadness. So I'm kind of like leaning into this, being in the desert here in Santa Fe, walking around looking for food after 9:30. It's like, basically I'm Jesus. And forget your water bottle at home, it's fucking Jerusalem. So I like it. I kind of wonder. So these 40 days, Jesus was in the desert fasting. And I'm just kind of wondering, what was he thinking? 40 days in the desert, did he think just I'm the son of God, it's going to rain bread, my boy God is going to help me out. But I guess it worked out for him until Pontius Pilate came and the rest is history, so they say. I feel like so with the weed thing, it's been hard. I'm not gonna lie. And the first thing I did was get rid of all my actual bud. But I left the edibles around for whatever reason, and I just never thought that the devil would tempt me with gummy bears. But there he is in my car, in my room, everywhere. There's the devil. Just got to ward him off with my piousness. So I was raised Catholic. My mom is very religious. She recently gifted me a Jesus Calling book, which of my own accord I read every night before bed as I say my prayers. I don't know. It's interesting though, because this Jesus language, it sounds very much like kind of like the spiritualists you might find in Taos or kind of wandering around here. It's trust me, close your eyes and trust my thing. What are you, my abusive father or something? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Lent is here. I'm not having sex. I'm not smoking weed. Feeling very pious. And Jesus, take the weed. So that's all I got. Thanks for listening.
Great job, Georgie. Give it up for Georgie one more time. She's braver than most of you. Coming up to the stage next. I don't even know what to say about this guy. It's like he's from another planet. It's Mr. Ryan Lawless, everybody.
Mic check. All right, it's working. I've been trying to think of good hit lines. When you hit on people, that's what I call them. And this person was a Pisces, and I said, I would love to have a piece of pie. Who doesn't? In pieces. Float your boat? That's good. We're starting somewhere. I usually work off this one too. I'm like, my last name's Lawless. But I'd be breaking the law if I told you my last. Oh, fuck. God damn it. Someone asked me if I could do any background work. If I had any previous work. And I said, my last job walked over my back. Does that count? That was a good one. So, you know who needs tires? Insomniacs. Because they are tired people. Whabam. Yeah, that's right. right? Because tired people. Only tired people. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So this person said, your jokes are funny, but you should try to consider changing your repertoire. And I said, I think dinosaurs are dangerous. We should not copy its DNA, if that's what you're saying. He's like, what? I was like, wait a minute, are you referencing Rugrats? Repertoire. All right. How can you tell if there's a token white guy in the room? His name is J.R.R. Ha. Yeah, it's a good book. He wrote. So a person asked me, wouldn't you like to be a part of my short film? And I said, I am 6'2". When am I going to actually be a part of a long-length feature movie? My name is Ryan Lawless.
Yeah, for Ryan Wallace, everybody. I'm still sober, but I have been smoking weed a little bit recently, and really gives me a new appreciation for Ryan's comedy. Smoking weed, it's not going well, or it's kind of terrifying every time I do it. But the one thing I do love about smoking weed, my favorite activity is driving at night, listening to music, because the music sounds so much better. Like I'm driving along, I'm like, wow, I can't believe how good. Oh fuck, I missed my turn. Anyway, coming up next to the stage, another newcomer to Wayward Comedy. I think it might be his first time. David J, everybody.
Thank you. I don't understand why I don't see more homeless people at REI. They have a really large selection of tents and a great return policy, so they can swap out their winter bag for a summer bag. My birthday was last week, and I got the world's shittiest birthday present. I got a kidney stone. Yeah, if you've never had one, it's the most painful thing you could possibly have to your dick area. And I know what you're thinking. It's worse than jerking off the shampoo by accident. Yeah, it's worse than that. It's horrible. It's like conditioner. Use conditioner. It was like this intense pain that's supposed to rival childbirth, and there's a little BB that travels through a tube. It's not the tube in your dick hole. No, it's a different tube somewhere in your body. And it was like fitting a BB into this tube was like a glove fitting on a glove, except it was OJ's glove, right? It was like sucking a boba through a straw, except that boba was your testicle. It was like Gandalf was standing there going, "You cannot pass. You shall not pass." I don't recommend it. 0 out of 10 stars. We have an incident going on in Europe right now. Reminds me, I'm old enough to remember when the United States had a habit of invading countries. And I don't really want to talk about the politics of that, except I do remember some things then that remind me of what's happening now. I remember the French, our allies for 60 years, were like, Monsieur America? Excuse me, but this not a good idea. Perhaps reconsider invading Iraq. And we were like, France, our allies for 60 years, or maybe we should listen to them. No, we're like, fuck you, Frenchmen! Freedom fries! And we had this weird thing where we couldn't use the word anymore. Like the word French became verboten. And that's happening now, right? Like we can't talk anything about Russia. And I'm 100% team Ukraine. That's awesome, right? Fight, be the resistance. But we've got the United States Cat Federation had an announcement where a guy went up there, cat guy, dapper suit. It was like, we will no longer accept cats of Russian breeds into our shows. that's weird. And then he kind of knocked his water off the lectern and turned around and showed his asshole the whole time. But sales of poutine have gone down. Poutine, which is Canadian chili cheese fries, has nothing to do with Russia, except it's a homonym for a dictator that's unpopular. And we're like totally canceling a delicious appetizer. It breaks my heart. You can't have Russian dressing. The NFL, they're only going to keep track of passing yards, not rushing yards. And I feel like America is so self-absorbed. Like I had this flash of insight. I was like, are we that self-absorbed? Is America special in that way? Or do other countries, do they feel jingoistic? Do they feel like they're the center of the universe? Nah, we're America. Fuck yeah. Thank you.
Give it up for David Shea, everybody. Coming to the stage next is another Wayward favorite, one of my favorite people in the world. It's Mr. Million Yanovich.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I like that comparison. Poutine is Canadian chili cheese fries. That is an excellent. That's accurate. Oh, my phone's ringing. Oh no. We're gonna talk later. All right. No, but Canadian chili cheese fries, that makes sense because chili, and I've been thinking about this, this is how we need to start marketing it to Midwesterners. Red chili is just like a spicy, rusty gravy. And they'll get that. They'll understand that. They'll stop trying to sell us like beef stew or whatever the fuck it is they call chili over there. All right, that's fine. I was rude. It's okay. That kid Tomas earlier was talking about how only pussies drink White Claw. I always love hearing like 20-year-olds talk about how like, you know, mild beers and White Claw is just for pussies. Like, let's see you in 15 years after 3 DUIs keep slamming IPAs like it's the only thing. Yeah, I like a 5% beer because then I can have 4 of them. You know, like, come on. Fine. My favorite emotion is rage. Hands down, out of all of them, rage is the best one. Because rage makes you feel stronger, you know, than you really are, like in real life. But for a minute there, like, you know, you're stuck in traffic, you just, God damn it, like, you feel like you're in charge again, right? I used to work at Trader Joe's, people ask me stupid questions like, is this butter gluten-free? It's butter! And then suddenly, like, it's all gonna be okay again. I started going to therapy, and that was a mistake. Because that, like, all it does is, like, you start analyzing your rage in real time as it's happening, you know, as you're saying the loud, angry things. And it sucks. It totally, it's like decaf rage, you know? Like, my doctor says it's better for me, but what the fuck's the point? Like, at this point, I might as well just, like, start volunteering and become a vegan. Like, it's just, what am I going to make the world a better place? You. Cool. I used to live in Seattle a while back, and one time I was running to catch a bus, and I had a handful of quarters, you know, to pay for the bus. It was raining, and I'm going around this corner by the Rite Aid, and my foot, like, didn't catch right, and I slipped, and I went flying, and the coins fell, you know, jingle, 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 and these 2 homeless guys sitting at the bus stop were like, man, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, everyone's favorite drinking holiday. Everyone calls it an Irish holiday. It's not an Irish holiday, it's an American holiday. It's the American Irish. It's a drinking holiday for us. This is a drinking country. This country was founded by alcoholics. Did you know that? The drunkest motherfuckers on the planet came up with this shit. This whole like liberty and justice. Like that is some shit you come up with 10 beers deep. You know, and actually you can look it up. Before the Constitutional Congress, they went on a bender. Like those dudes got fucked up. You can Google this. You can look it up on Wikipedia. There was a huge party for like 4 days before they started the Constitutional Congress, and they found like in some bar somewhere in Boston, they found the original bar tab for that weekend. And with inflation, we're talking like $500,000. Spent by our founding fathers getting wasted before they wrote the founding document of this country. And I like to think about that when I think about why things are the way they are now. And it makes total sense. I can just see Benjamin Franklin kicking down the door to the Constitutional Congress on like day 3, like, hey, yo, you're doing a good job. I like everything you're doing. Couple of changes. Rule number 1, you don't fucking tell me to shut up, Jefferson. Rule number 2, you get a gun, I get a gun. Everybody gets a gun. My third amendment, and then, rule number 4, if I say I didn't do it, I didn't do it. You can't say I did it if I didn't. And rule number 5, I'm gonna stop talking right now. That's exactly how that happened. I might as well have a video recording of it. Yep, that's what I thought. All right. Let's say something funny before I go home. Oh, what was it? It's too late. Can't look in there. We're all alone, me and my weed-addled memory. You guys stuck here for another 45 seconds while I think about it. All right, an oldie but a goodie. Imagine how incredibly obnoxious and self-righteous John Lennon would be on Twitter if he was alive today. It's easy if you try. But seriously, would we have canceled his ass by now? 2022? We knew everything we know about him, how he abandoned his first wife and kid, and beat Yoko, all those awful things. Or would he have gotten away with it like those pedophiles in Led Zeppelin? I'm asking for a friend. It's cool. I still love the music. I'm just glad he's dead. All right, you guys are here. Give it up for TJ.
Give it up for Millionaires, everybody. Hey, coming to the stage next, another newcomer to Wayward Comedy, yes? Yeah, it's been a while. Give it up for Tasha, everybody.
Thank you. I need room for my stuff. I'm extremely high maintenance. What do they say now? Extra. I'm very extra. I'm all that and a piece of cheese. All right, everybody, I just want to thank you for being such a wonderful audience tonight on behalf of my cohorts here. I want to thank management for making this opportunity for us. Woo, woo. It's my first time out since lockdown. So it's been a really interesting experience, and I know some of my friends up here have gotten up without a net, right? Meaning with no notes. To me, every time you get up on stage, first of all, is without a net. Secondly, I always have notes. I can't remember a goddamn thing. I put the fun in functional drug addict. Okay, so I'm trying to keep up with it. So I'm Tasha Salad. And I will. If your friend is looking bewildered, go ahead and tell. No, you know what? Go ahead and show them. I'll wait. I told that joke to a handful of squares one day, and I got blank stares back. I said, well, I'm not going to tell you, because it goes over much better when you know what tossing salad is. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you can Google it under eating ass. Yes, I'm a slut. Proud of it. I was talking to a girlfriend. She said, yeah, you a slut and a hoe. I said, no, I'm not a hoe. She said, what's the difference? I said, I'm an amateur. I'm a highly skilled amateur. And believe me, I've been scouted for the pros. I mean, what can I say? I put the hot in hot mess. Everybody's got to have their niche, no? So I was talking to a friend of mine. He says, I'm going to lick my way up your thigh to your little pussy. I said, baby, if you want my little pussy, you're going to need a time machine. I mean, I got some grown woman shit going on. I keep it in shape now. The Kegels, right? Do it with me, ladies. Flex, flex, flex. I know y'all doing it. Listen, I've been married. This year, it'll be 30 years I'm married. Yeah! So I date. Now, my husband is terrific. I love, well, you know, you can't stick with somebody for 30 years if there isn't some kind of love there, right? But he's a philosopher. Every so often he'll surprise me. I just had this random thought one day. I said, you know, I don't get girls that don't swallow. He said, I don't get guys that care. You can put it in your pocket and take the fuck home with you. I'm done. My father said to me one day, I told my father, yeah, Kevin's getting rid of some shoes. Do you need some? He says, well, I got a big foot. And I said, well, Kevin is this size. He says, my man. Now, who congratulates his daughter on the size of her husband's cock? My father. Yeah, I found some porn when I was 9. I mean, the porn of them. I had found the other porn much earlier than that. You know, interesting family. But yeah, I married a real gem. And I mean, look at me, I'm still keeping it together, right? And he is ready 24/7. Ready about 7 times a year for 24 minutes. But listen, every time I look at him, I get this warm feeling every time I see him writing that mortgage check. But yeah, I am trying to keep it together. I'm not doing the worst job, right? I used to go to a strip club in Albuquerque, and they try to let me in the wrong door. You know, they have one door for customers and one for dancers. I said, oh my God, you guys, you flatter me so much. You can take any 2 of your dancers, put them together, they don't equal my age. Except that one. You know, there's always that one. So I'm out there and I see the girls dancing and the guys are flipping the bills, making it rain. I said, shit, I could get up there. They'll be making it hail, throwing coins and shit, you know? But listen, I could work in a club. I could work in a white club. I couldn't work in a black club. I went to a black club and I said, well, can I at least go get the audition? They said, make it clap. I said, what? All right, I'm gonna twerk for y'all now. I was doing it, you just can't see it because I got no aim. I considered wearing Depends just to kind of fluff it up a little bit. All right, you guys, I hate like. You know what I'm talking about? Like, everybody says like, I said like, and I was like, and he was, and she was all, and it. The other one is literally, right? I think they're actually gonna have to change the definition of literally, because people say things like, literally no stone unturned. Well, I think we have to have a size limit, so we can say, okay, no stone between this and this unturned. Disappeared off the face of the earth. Starving to death. I'm literally burning up. Now that's the one I really want to see. It's not the joke I should be telling, but that's the one I want to see. All right, who's ever ordered anything online? No? See, it's like when I say who's ever looked at porn online? I had one person tell me no, and I swear he was lying. You ever look at one of those pages that's got 200 random things, and you click on some different stuff, and just, you know, click in here, click. You go, wow, I didn't know I'd have that reaction to that. Well, if you guys don't have that, you need to get up and do it. But if you're ordering online, you'll notice everybody wants you to do subscriptions, right? Who's got the light to flash me off?
Yeah, it's flashed.
See, you gotta put it where I can see it, though. All right, let me leave you with this one last thought. I know it's gonna sound judgmental, but really, Crocs, guys, is it just easier than putting a sign around your neck that says, I never plan to get laid again in my life? Well, that's my time. Literally.
Give it up for Tasha, everybody. Tasha, the one I hate is or whatever at the end of the sentence. So we were like going to Burger King or whatever, and your phone, Tasha. Remember your phone. Coming up to the stage next, returning to the Wayward stage, it's Rachel, everybody. There she is. Here you go.
Hello. This is my second time up here ever doing this. I did open mic in Albuquerque a couple of times for singing, but never comedy. So this is still new, even though I've been in the environment for a while, so go easy on me. If I do something stupid, just kind of laugh along. I'm sure you'll be laughing anyway. I don't know. Anyway. Knock knock.
Who is there?
Yeah, pressure's on.
I got it. Europe. You'll have to judge that after I'm done. Okay, you're a poo? You're a poo. You can't say that yet because I haven't started. You don't know if I'm a poo. I might be a poo, but I don't know.
She's a kindergarten teacher.
Okay. Knock knock. Scold. Open the door. It's cold out here. Okay. Who in here has ever realized inadvertently that they're dick shaming to their boyfriend? Or like at any time, it just kind of like, I hate dick.
Yeah.
Have you ever realized that? Like when you are aware enough of your language or how you're talking to another human being and you just start saying, I hate dick. I hate dick. I hate dick. I was at the gym the other day and I didn't put my dumbbells back where they were supposed to go because I work 2 full-time jobs as a special ed teacher. And sometimes I'm just kind of like, I gotta go over here, I gotta go over here, and I'm just gonna put these dumbbells back and somebody's gonna put them back where they need to go. But no, that day, dude was like, don't be a dick. And I was like, somebody never loved your dick. I mean, if somebody had loved your dick, you wouldn't say don't be a dick. I guarantee you that you've been on multiple dates with people that have said, well, the other day I was out with some dude and he was a dick. I hate dick. You know? Like, I don't go to work sometimes, or I don't like my boss because he's a dick. That is a guaranteed sign that the person you're dating is going to leave you for a woman. Why? She hates dick. Don't be a dick. That's right there. I don't like dick. No, and I'm like, there's guaranteed fact to it. There's more than depth to it because it's true. If somebody's dick shaming, then they just don't like dick. So why go to the 7 years of trouble with somebody or 40 years of trouble with somebody if they're just gonna leave you for something that's not a dick? I don't know. Or I don't know, you can try to convince her for 40 years that I don't know. I don't know. So like if I'm talking to somebody and he's telling me about this woman he's dating, not a girl, because we never say that we're dating girls, because when I say that I'm dating a boy, people look at me like I'm a pedophile, right? Like, oh, I went on 5 dates with multiple boys yesterday. People are like, why would you date a boy? He doesn't have you. No. So if you're on a date with a woman and the woman is talking about how much she hates dick, like, are you really looking forward to her theme song? Like what is it? Like Red Rover. One day, don't worry, I'll never suck your dick. Is it? You know, like if you people haven't had a theme song, that's definitely what it would be for that type of a woman. I don't know. I think that more people should be mindful of how they talk before they talk. Like think before you speak, because when you think before you speak, you stop dick shaming. And when you stop dick shaming, you stop telling people that you hate dick. And you'll probably just get more people in relationships that will know that maybe, there's a second date or a third, or, it's more investment because you don't hate dick. If you're wearing a shirt to a date that says, I hate dick, you're probably not going to get dick.
Experience.
Right? If that's your goal, then don't wear a shirt that says I hate dick. And the same thing goes for like asshole. Like I love my asshole, and I think that all people really do, right? When I'm by myself and I fart, sometimes it's just like, thank you, because I know that I love myself well enough to just let it go. Just let it go. When I was really, really poor and I was a tier 1 teacher and I really let it go, like that shit would like travel up my pussy lips and like I would just be like, oh, you know, like I already have a very sensitive ear, so it was just kind of like, I don't need to waste another $80 on a really good vibrator. I can just fart.
All right. All right.
But it's true though, you know, like I think that like when I'm talking about people not being like cognizant of the words they're using, like my dad is gay. And so when he tells me shit like, don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole, Rachel. Do you love your asshole, Dad? You're being an asshole. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Stop, you're being an asshole. You have an asshole. You like it in your asshole. Why is it a bad thing to be an asshole? I don't get it.
Give it up for Rachel, everybody. Let it go. Coming to the stage next. If you think this is easy, then you've never tried it. But this guy makes it look easy. It's Mr. Corey Herrera, everybody.
All right, what's up, Santa Fe? You guys good or what? All right, this is not the or what crowd tonight. Very nice. You have to forgive my sniffing. I get allergic, or having allergic reactions, allergies. It always happens whenever I sniff some cocaine, you know? Yeah, we get cocaine on the res. Just kidding. So, more context about that joke. I'm Native American. Give it up for me, right? Thank you. I worked really hard on that, you know? I always don't want to come off the res because people come up and be like, hey, are you still selling, you know? How dare you assume I'm selling turquoise just because I'm Native, you know? I'm in New Mexico. I'm trying to sell this meth real quick, right? Buy something or get out of the alley, you know? You guys like my necklace? Alright, okay. It's authentic turquoise, man. I bought it from a Filipino man, you know? Traded it for some meth, everybody. A big part of being Native, I don't know if you guys know, but it's just answering stupid questions that people ask you, you know? So I was in the plaza in Santa Fe today. I was yelling at the sun, you know? Yeah, fuck that thing, you know? Thinks it's all bright and shit. Fuck that, you know? So then this lady approached me. I knew she was gonna ask me something weird because she was wearing turquoise too, you know? So she felt like she bought it from my cousin or something. So she's like, hey sir, how are you doing? I was like, don't say how, that's offensive, you know? She's like, really? I was like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm doing good. How are you? She's like, I'm okay. Can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah, go for it. She's like, I don't know if I should say this. I'm like, bro, just pause it real quick. If you have to open with that to a complete stranger, just don't ask the question, you know? I was like, go ahead and ask your question. This is what she asked me. She's like, do you sit Indian style? I was like, lady, everything I do is Indian style, okay? That's right, one applause. Appreciate that. To be fair to her, she did have a strong follow-up. She's like, how do you celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day? I was like, all right, that's a good question, you know? I haven't got asked that before, so. I don't know if you guys know, but we don't celebrate Columbus Day here no more. We celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. Did you guys know that? I'm holding for applause. No, so this is how I celebrate. If you guys have any Native friends, feel free to share this with them. I find a random white person, I go to their house and I do not leave, you know? That's right, man. If I'm in a good mood, I'll sell the house back to them after, you know? That's why I want to open up a real estate agency called Manifest Destiny. Getting our land back one foreclosure at a time, everybody. So anyone here get COVID? Anyone? All right, very nice. Glad to see you made it, sir. How was it for you? Good?
It's all right.
Yeah, you're still wearing the beanie. You have some symptoms still or what? No.
3 days of fever, then it's dead.
Oh, very nice. Okay, well, give it up for this guy. He survived, you know? My people have not had the ability to build up the immunity that white people's diseases have brought, you know? So I got hit with COVID, I got hit pretty hard, you know? So I had to perform a show right after I had COVID. I was still like not feeling, you know, feeling 100%. But it was an all-white crowd, kind of like tonight. And I had the ability. I was sick, and I could infect everybody. You know, I kind of felt that power dynamic there. You know, so I coughed on the audience, and 13 people died. That's how we celebrate. You know, that's how we get out of COVID. That was a dark joke. I didn't realize how dark that was. So I just said it out loud. Yeah, it was crazy. I was playing chess earlier with a homeless man. You know. Pretty high stakes. He was playing for his change. You know what I mean? That's the end of it. I thought I had more to that joke, but that's fine. Thank you. I was at a restaurant earlier today. This waitress came up to me. She said, "How may I serve you?" Well, I was like, "Well, you can bow down and chant." You know? I guess that's not how they roll at Chick-fil-A. Just get my chicken sandwich. You know? All right, that's it. Moving on. Let's see some more about myself. I drive a Dodge Grand Caravan, you know? It's just cool, because it lets every woman I meet know I come with lots of baggage, right? You got room for more, you know? All right. Okay, so more about myself. I have 3 kids, all with the same woman, right? A big accomplishment in New Mexico, everybody, right? All right, no one has kids here, that's fine. Dude, that's like getting your master's degree or PhD, you know? It costs about the same too. Yeah, man, bombing so bad tonight, you know? You should sign up for ISIS or something. All right, I'll leave you with this one. In the last words of Socrates, this drink tastes funny, you know? All right, thank you guys so much, guys. Awesome.
Give it up for Corey. Where are everybody? Coming to the stage next is Mitten. Mitten, there she is. Come on up. You say that right?
Good question. Yeah, this is so busy. It actually takes time to get to the stage. When does this happen? Anyway, I actually did not write a set tonight. I was like, I'll come here and like see what I feel like talking about. So you're gonna regret your life choice of coming here tonight just as much as I will. It's gonna be a good moment. Otherwise, I'm actually gonna go home for the first time in over 2 years on Sunday, and home for me is France. So it's gonna be a big change. And when I moved here 2 years ago, the first thing and the first interaction I had with my neighbor, she offered me weed or gun. And then I was like, yeah, this is my welcome to Santa Fe. Great. So there are things I'm looking forward to going back home. One of it is being able to drive as badly as I do here, but not being afraid of being killed in a road rage from it. It's gonna be nice. Another thing is actually having to go to a bakery and being able to pronounce correctly the things, because if you're in the US, you want to pronounce something French, you have to kind of mix it in a weird way so people still understand it. So it's like, instead of saying a croissant, you have to be like a croissant. I was like, this is my native language. I have no clue why I'm faking some kind of weird accent on it. But otherwise, you're not going to give me what I want to eat. So this is fine. Another thing is, I'm finally going to see my best friend. I haven't seen her in 2 years. And she's the most Central European person I know. So we were visiting Sarajevo. We're in this museum about crimes against humankind. Really gloomy, and first sight mentions her village where she grew up, and the fact that they found 40,000 people massacred in it. I'm like, you never told me that, and she has the most Central European reaction you can have. She's like, didn't probably matter much. So that's the vibe there. And she's a very supportive person, and when I told her I wanted to start comedy, she was like, yeah, it's a good idea, you're funny. And then pauses for a second, it's like, at least to me. So yeah, great vote of confidence. But apart from that, I actually wanted to talk about breakups a bit, just because I've gone through one a few weeks ago. Yeah, I think everyone always needs to talk about that at some point. Yeah, here is so much cheaper than therapy, really. One thing is, I actually kind of broke up when I moved here. More like the person I was actually engaged to ghosted me once I moved here. What? It was really, thanks. That's the right reaction. But that's not the funny part. That was really not funny, actually. That's the part. So what happened is he had to spend the whole quarantine in his new flat that we fucked in every fucking space in it just before I left. And I think that's as good as a revenge as it gets.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's this also funny thing when you're breaking up with people, and while breaking up, they do the same shit that makes you break up with them, so you feel so much better about it. So like, basically just rehashing the past, or saying like doing nothing, or not being able to express feelings. So it's like, yeah, this is exactly where I'm living, actually. Thanks for the reminder. I'm much less sad now. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had in mind for tonight. Thanks for not having totally bomb.
Give it up for Vince, everybody. Folks, we're down. This is the time that it's just the hardcore people. So give it up for yourselves, all right? Thank you so much for sticking it out with us. We've got 2 more comics coming to the stage. First, we got Mr. Phil Johnson, everybody.
My name is Phil Johnson. It is nice to have you here. Do you think they call small banana farms plantations? Yeah, you found that joke appealing. It grows on you. So Tom Brady, everybody's favorite. Hey, Tom Brady unretired, which I think we can all agree, not surprising.
Not retired.
Because can you imagine? You go off on the highest of peaks. You are the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Like that, you can't get better. You're the greatest. You can't get better of all time. Like, oh wow. And you retire, and a month later you're doing rental car commercials. A month after that, the only people who know your name is like, hey Tom, you want the Wayward Manchego? So of course he unretired. Couldn't do that. I mean, he needs that attention, which I understand. Lots of people need that attention. Like it's springtime, and all the birds are out needing attention. You know. Yeah. And you know that I saw it's sad because essentially they're just, I saw a thrasher the other day. Just sitting right there on the edge of the tree where everybody could see him, singing his heart out. And it was beautiful and pathetic. Because he's sitting there going, I need a girlfriend. Anybody? So horny. So horny. Hello? Did that for hours. And it's sad. You see people do that, you know? There's like, swipe on me. Hello? I need a girlfriend. Like, I wore my good feathers. Sad. I don't date. I don't really like dating. You know, I'm not like asexual, but I'm a-curious. You know? I just think it's so much better. Like you'll get these ads for male enhancement, and they're awful. They're things like, do you want to increase your sex drive? No. Oh, God, no. No, not that. Do you want to feel young again? What, like I'm 15? Nobody understands you. I need a girlfriend! Yeah. I don't know, I think if they had a drug that just got like rid of your sex drive, that would be male enhancement. Yeah, like just think of how much time you would have on your hands. If you weren't thinking about women, men could solve problems. You know, if they had the time and space to put their mind to it. You'd have a bunch of extra money lying around. Hey, all right. This is true male enhancement. Let's see. So I was getting on a plane the other day, and I found I really like kind of the vernacular that everyone uses in the airport. You know, like when it's time for boarding, you stand in the line and you get bored. Makes sense. Like there were a couple people that were so bored they were planking. You know. Finally, we go to get on the plane, and it's painted this color. I think it's called plain white. And we get on, and the flight attendants were there, and I actually have a bit of a problem with the term flight attendant. Like, I'm not saying we should go back to stewardess but like, if you're on the plane while it's going through the air, you attended the flight. Hey, all right, my name is Phil Johnson. You can all right.
Give it up for Phil Johnson, everybody. You know, I realized recently almost everything I do in my life is in some way to find a girlfriend, except for this. Coming up to the stage next, I saved the best for last. Just one of my all-time favorite people and favorite comedians in the world, Nick Spexper, everybody. Come on up, man.
Hey everybody. So I did something crazy today. I discovered that I think Brazilian women are the strongest people in the entire world. Do you want to know why? Because today I got a bikini box for the first time in my life, and it was like hell on a stick. It was awful. Yeah, but they tried to dress it up all fancy and like glorious and glamorous, right? Where they were like, oh, Cleopatra had her Egyptian servants do this to her when she was lying on pillows, right? And I was like, yeah, but that bitch chose to kill herself with a venomous snake, so pretty crazy. I'm gonna do some St. Patrick's Day jokes. So my family on both sides is Irish, which is where I get my curly hair and food motivation. Okay, so a year ago, this is my surgery anniversary. A year ago, I had unexpected surgery. I went to a gynecologist appointment, and they were like, your IUD is broken and stepping through the lining of your uterus. We're gonna have to send you to the hospital. Yes. So I had to get my birth control forcibly removed a year ago this week, which is possibly the most Catholic thing I've ever done since St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, so my family, both sides is Irish. They came to New York City during the Great Hunger, and they were like, this is not cold and gray enough, so they moved north. They also had tuberculosis at the time, which incidentally sounds like the disease you get when you eat too much potatoes. Yeah. Oh, I know, I did one time. I know. Suck it up. All right. So I was reading this article the other day. I was in a rabbit hole on Reddit, and I was reading this article the other day about how some people think that that it's cultural appropriation to eat any food that's not from where your people come from. Yeah, so next week I'm planning on starving to death. That's the only fucking reason we dragged our hangry asses across the ocean was to eat your food. Maeve and Sinead did like this sheep divination with bones, and they were like, there's gonna be tacos in every city in 100 years, let's get in line. And even the food we have in Ireland is not good. There's a reason you never see any Irish food trucks on the side of the road. If someone says there's an Irish food truck, that's a euphemism for a bootlegging can. That's what that is. Yeah, I was the only kid in school growing up who, like, when you had Heritage Day in school and you had to bring in food from your home country, motherfuckers were bringing in, like, enchiladas and dumplings and soul food, and I had soda bread. Soda bread, if you don't know, is named after the main ingredient in soda bread, which is baking soda. Yeah, it's like a salty, crusty rock that we pulled out of the sea like a curd and slapped on a platter. Yeah, so I ended up going to a very Christian school, a very Christian college. Did anybody else see this? Yeah, a couple of my people. Yes. My dad was driving a bus at the time, and he quit his job and got a job working as a graveyard shift security guard so that I could go to school for free. So if I wanted scholarship money, I had to go to this very small Christian school in rural Western New York. It was a dry campus in a dry town. And they had only just legalized dancing 2 years before I got there. So I didn't go on a single date for all of college because I didn't want to fucking marry anyone there. And it was a small Irish town called Belfast, New York. And it's famous because John L. Sullivan, the famous bare-knuckle Irish boxer, was an alcoholic and was super wasted all the time. So they put him in this town for 3 months and said, this is the only place where you're not going to get into any trouble while you train for this fight. And the town was so excited about it, they built a statue to him. That's why I went to school. And I'm going to tell you one more story. My grandmother was very Irish. She was one of those people that, like, she spelled my name wrong my entire life because she was like, we're going to spell it the Irish way. And my mom tells me the story of how she got all of her teeth pulled on the same day and then carried her kids home and was like, well, that was a Wednesday. She's a tough old bird. And about like 3 years ago, I was going home and my mom was staying with my grandmother because she was really sick at a nursing home. And I got to the airport. And I was like, I'll take a taxi there, I'll take an Uber there. My mom was like, no, I'll come to pick you up. And I was like, no, it's okay, I'll get a ride. My mother's like, no, I'm gonna do it. So my mother came to pick me up from the airport, and I got there, and in those 20 minutes that my mother was gone, my grandmother died. And I was like, you fucking bitch, that's the mic drop of Irish goodbyes. Snuck right out of there. That's awesome for tonight. We have a show tomorrow night at Santa Fe Brewery at 8 o'clock. We're doing a special St. Patrick's Day game show hosted by myself and involving a lot of Wayward comedians. Come and see Penn, it's going to be really fun. And thanks to you guys for hosting.
Everybody, folks, we are on Instagram. There's waywardcomedy.com. You can check out a lot of our videos there. We have a YouTube account. We actually got up to 6 viewers tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 6 whole viewers. I think that might be a record. The Irish Catholic game show tomorrow night at Santa Fe Brewing. And except drink, I guess. Yeah, you could come to the brewery and drink while you watch the show. Are we charging anything for that, or is that free? It's free. So there you go. All right. I think that's it, folks. I don't know what else you expect. I mean, have a great night. Drive home safe. See you next week. We are here every week, every single week until the end of time. Okay. Thank you so much. A little bit more housekeeping. Desert Dogs Saturday night. The Witch and Bitch Fest. It is an open mic, so if you're interested in doing anything, come on by. Okay. Night, folks.